Let's talk about sex.
All right, let's do it.
How do you, as a parent of kids over a wide range, so your oldest, I'm sure, has an idea what's going on.
Yeah.
The youngest probably doesn't. So you've gone through that transition and you are going through it. How do you talk to your kids about sex?
Yeah, I'm married, so I have a great wife. So
I let her deal with that.
Okay, so honestly, though, that has been, my wife is really, I'm kind of shocked and amazed how proactive she's been. There's no time that is too early to be talking to your children about pornography, about sex, what's inappropriate, and it should be talked about and repeated all the time. And obviously you talk about it differently to a 2-year-old than you would a 15-year-old, right? But that should be an open dialogue that they understand they're going to have repeatedly. Yeah. So it's not foreign. It's not this thing like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just talked about pornography in front of me. If you're having the conversation a lot, they should be aware of it. The fact of the matter is your children will be exposed to pornography. Guaranteed. And it will be really early. They've already been exposed and you don't even know it. Yep. And they're seeing now that you're talking about 9 and under is where kids are first exposed to this. So the conversation needs to happen super early. It needs to happen a lot. Now, the principle that my wife has taken is that it is not a bad thing, as in that you don't, we never want them to be ashamed. Yeah. And we never want them, you're going to encounter this stuff. You're going to have questions. It's okay. You're not in trouble. You need to talk to us. Yeah. Right? And you need to stand up for yourself if you feel that something's inappropriate, and we will always back you for that. So we have their back. We want them to feel that support. We want to have that conversation be continual, and that way the comfort level, and they can come talk to us about it. And when they encounter it, when they encounter these things, when they're dating, right, that they have a knowledge and that they can feel confident in approaching those subjects so they can make decisions that are for them, that they are comfortable with. And that if they're not, they can say no, they can state it, and they can also come back and talk to you about it. Yeah. It's hard for a lot of parents because it's hard for me. Yeah. So it's different, I think, as husband or whatnot, but my wife's amazing, probably, and I agree. We start as early as it gets, talking to the kids about pornography, talking to kids about what's inappropriate, what's not, what to do if you see it, and who you should talk to us about, tell us, and that they'll never be in trouble, ever, if they come and talk to us about something that happened that they even view as inappropriate. Yeah. That's fine. You're not in trouble for that. Please tell us. We don't want anything like abuse to be happening, and they feel that they can't tell us because they would get in trouble. That's just one line we don't want to cross. Yeah, somebody recently told me, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was on this show, but they said how they have a rule with their kids. They've said since they were little kids is like, if you ever hear a phrase out in public or a concept or a situation, you always have a safe space to talk about with mom and dad. We will never be upset or make you feel weird about it. Everything is on the table all the time. And from the time they're little, they enforce that over and over and over and over. Yes. And yeah, so the kid grows up just knowing I don't want to throw my parents under the bus here. My parents are amazing, but I was always embarrassed to talk to them about anything. My parents didn't even know, none of my siblings ever told any other sibling, even though they're all the same age basically. We never told anybody who we liked crushes wise. My parents never knew. There was zero of any of that. It was super shameful to even say I liked a girl. So we didn't talk about it. And I want that to be opposite with my kids though. Well, and a lot of people, I think, to our parents' credits, because I think that's the vast majority. Yeah. When talking to people, they're like, oh, they'll figure it out. And I go, okay, now hold on. You say that, but you have to remember, when we were kids, if I wanted to go find or look at pornography, I had to go purchase a magazine, which I couldn't purchase because I wasn't of legal age. Yep. That's it. There was no other means to do that. Now, a friend may have gotten one from somewhere that you see, but someone had to do that transaction. Yep. And that was a physical thing that had to be passed around, right, and carried. Astronomically limited. Yeah. The dating was very controlled. There was no online messaging. Yep. There was no Snapchat. There was no picture and video sharing. It was courting. Yeah. I knew who I had to go. My parents knew who I was going out on a date with.
Yep.
We had to go pick them up.
Yeah.
Their parents knew. It was a very controlled environment. So there was, honestly, I don't think ever in their imagination would they have ever believed that under 14 or 15 you would even see pornography. Because they're like, how? How would you even see it? So today, it could not be more opposite. You will see it. You're going to see it before you're 15.
Yep.
That's basically a guarantee.
Yep.
And to act like they won't, you put shame in it and make it. So I think the circumstances are different, and we have to treat it differently because of even if your parents, they could default to that. That's what I'm saying, right? They could default to it and it was okay.
Yeah.
We do not have an ability to default to not having open discussions about it anymore.
Yeah, if I could summarize your thoughts here, it's like, this whole discussion is like parents need to not abdicate. Is that the word I'm looking for? Like like their education, the talk about sex, our kids are our kids. And just because somebody else might be teaching them in a school or whatever, it is still our responsibility. Like and always would be. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I understand that people say, some kids don't get that talk at home, so they need to be talked about that at school. And it's like, okay, it's not that I disagree with that or anything else, but at the same time, there should never be a circumstance to where I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about sexual issues to a child. And the fact that people are trying to make it so parents can't know about that alone makes me say, why? Why do you want to talk to children about these things and not have their parents know or find out? That is so scary and so dangerous.
In a similar way, we've got an entire billion-dollar social media app like Snapchat, and a lot of them have the same feature, but we have a social media app created by adults, grown-up people, that's targeted to children, that is designed to send secret pictures that are deleted. How, as a society, do we not go, wait a second, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
What are we
Why?
doing?
Why is that a thing?
There's something happening here that's not good.
It's not good.
There's not. Yeah, it's absurd.
Move it from the screen to in person.
Yeah.
So, you know that your child goes out for 3 hours every night downtown in dark alleyways, and your 13-year-old girl is going to have interactions and meet with men that are trying to talk to her that could be anywhere from 30 to 80 years old.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
No. Then why do you do it on a screen? Why do you let that happen?
Yeah.
And it's not as dangerous. How is it not as dangerous?
Yeah.
Because interactions on screen turn into real life interactions. And I think people need to look at it like that. Your kid's screen is just like it is in person.
And we're not saying it's easy to do that. Like, none of this is easy, but
Not
parents
even
oftentimes
remotely.
well, this is hard. I can't really stop my kid from, using Snapchat. Therefore, I'm going to do nothing. It's like anything's better than nothing.
No, my kids have phones.
Yep.
So my older ones do.
Yeah.
We have full access to them. We control them. We can see them. But it is our job to teach them how to use them, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, so they don't find out on their own. And they do not get unfiltered access. They do not get social media. That, once again, I'm not letting my kid go downtown to dark alleyways to talk to adults. I would never allow them to do that on their screen. But we are introducing those things to them. So there's certain apps that kids are using that are specially designed for children, only children, and you have to ease into it. And you have to train them and teach them. Because regardless, they will get a phone.
Yep.
They need to know what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, that they can come talk to us if they see anything, which we've had our kids come do. Walked in, I opened up, I was scrolling on this popped up. Like, it's okay. Hey, let's talk about it. I wonder where this came from, right? And you got to have those open conversations now. Because you're right, you can't hide it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you just say, yeah, go for it. Go run around downtown and we don't care.
Yeah.
Like,